Now, the stunning terror plot sending shockwaves across the country, and one of the specific targets who they wanted to behead, the woman who organized a controversial Draw Muhammad events, anti-radical Islam blogger Pam Geller. She joins us. Nice to see you, Pam.
Thanks for having me, Greta.
Pam, were you ever warned by law enforcement that someone in Boston was seeking to behead you?
I was not given this specific threat, but I was warned of impending threats.
All right, but nothing coming out of Boston?
No.
All right. Now, how did you first learn about this and that your name was that your name has been batted around as one of his targets?
CNN had called me for comment.
And after you got that information, did you follow up with the authorities? Has anybody talked to you since then?
Well, at their request, I had a meeting with multiple agencies, but I'm not at liberty to discuss what we said at that meeting.
Are you afraid that that you are the target for what is a signature crime by ISIS and other radical or extremist groups of beheading? Are you worried about that?
Well, the idea that my work in defense of freedom would warrant cutting off my head is deeply disturbing. And of course it's scary. But to me, it's scarier to do nothing.
If you're a critic of radical Islam, are you critical of Islam as well, or just radical Islam?
I'm critical of jihad, and I'm critical of the Sharia. I don't care if you worship a stone. Just don't stone me with it. So it doesn't matter if you're a Buddhist, if you're a Wiccan, if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim. But the jihad and the Sharia are deeply problematic.
All right. Do you have another cartoon drawing contest, Muhammad, scheduled? Because obviously that was one that certainly drew a lot of attention.
Well, it was the first annual, and I intend it to be annual. And again, remember, it was in response to a pro-Sharia event in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo slaughter. Muslim groups, just a couple of days after that gruesome massacre, held a conference called Stand With the Prophet in support of Sharia restrictions. So we held a conference in that exact same spot in defense of freedom, standing with the victims of the Charlie Hebdo slaughter. That's why we were in Garland, Texas.
I would suspect that you must get a lot of threats. Is that true or not true?
It is true. I violate the Sharia. I violate the blasphemy laws under Islamic law. And it's not just me. You know, whether I do this or not, anyone that doesn't abide by the blasphemy laws under the Sharia will be targeted.
And when you talk about blasphemy laws, are you speaking just directly to, a cartoon or something of Muhammad, or are you taking it beyond that?
I don't take it beyond that. They take it beyond that. I didn't make the cartoons a flashpoint. The jihadists made the cartoons a flashpoint. And this is an elemental right of every American. And the idea that we would abridge our freedoms so not to offend savages goes against every fiber of my being. So of course I'm going to continue. My resolve is even strengthened in light of the past few weeks.
What should we do? Tell me your solution to all this, because I always look, the idea of beheading people is, it's so abhorrent. Besides the fact that it's murder, I mean, it's absolutely abhorrent, and it's being done. It's almost their brand that's their signature.
Well, it's in the Quran. Smite them at their necks. Look, what should we do? Everyone should have a cartoon contest. Everyone should stand in defense of freedom. Our organization, the American Freedom Defense Organization, has an 18-point platform in defense of freedom. Even today, in that press conference, the imam that spoke, he was fired from a university because he told his students to pick up your swords and do your job. The idea that you're blaming the cops. This jihadist was lunging at the cops with a machete-type beheading weapon. They defended themselves, and that's reckless. What's reckless is the focus on me. What's reckless is the focus on anyone who criticizes or questions Islam. We should be looking at the mosque. The Islamic Society of Boston is a terror-tied mosque. Anwar al-Awlaki partnered with the imam there. We know that one of the jihadists was a security guard there. The chemical weapons doctor, Siddique, had plotted an attack, a chemical weapons attack in New York City. She tried to kill U.S. soldiers. There are a number of terror attacks tied to that mosque. Why aren't we looking at the mosque? Why aren't we looking at the mosque in Phoenix, Arizona? We know that a friend of Ibrahim Simpson's, the jihadist that tried to slaughter hundreds of people, said he would never waver from the teachings of the mosque. He slept at that mosque. He did a promotional fundraising video for that mosque. Why aren't we talking about the jihadic ideology behind this slaughter?
Pamela, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Greta.